It's time for another month to unstuff your TBR. Hi friends, welcome back to Pages in Chaos, and it's time for another Unstuff Your TBR vlog for the month of May. This is a series that I have been participating in with Beccie from Bex Reads, Monica at Pardon This Book Addict, and Lisa at Babe in the Library. And every other month we have a theme where everybody votes on, and then we get to pick books from our shelves or our e-readers or whatever the TBR is, and we read books that fit that theme and then let you know all of our thoughts. For the month of May, the theme is summer vibes. It was actually my pick that was most voted on. So I have two definite books that I plan on reading, maybe one more if I could get to it. I've been having a very overwhelming couple of months with a lot of reading and a lot of outside stuff with work and school. So I'm definitely going to read two of them, and we will see if I can get a third. The two that I definitely have planned is The Faraway Inn and How to Write a Love Story. The Faraway Inn actually takes place during the summer in Vermont. Kalisa actually goes to visit her great aunt at her bed and breakfast for the summer to try to get over a heartbreak, and she soon realizes that it might not be all that she thought it was. She starts to see some things happening and, maybe thinking that there's something otherworldly going on here in this bed and breakfast, and why is it so run down? So she goes on this little adventure with the groundskeeper's son to try to figure out what is actually going on and to help her great aunt hopefully save her crumbling bed and breakfast. The next book that I plan on reading is How to Write a Love Story. This also fits my book of the month prompt for nature on the cover, so I'm very happy that I can get this off my shelves either way. But this is about Kiara, who is a writer, but she has been tasked with an unfinished manuscript to finish the last book in her father's famous fantasy series once he passed on. Unfortunately, she has writer's block. She has no idea what she's doing. She's not a fantasy writer. She also is afraid to live up to his expectations and also make sure that the fans get exactly what they're hoping for with this last book, and especially that it's such a big deal that it's the last book after he passed. Sam is the editor that works for the editing company or publishing company that has published her father's books, and he has been sent to see her in Ireland where she is to help her get out of her writer's block and finish this book. And also, he is the biggest fan of her father's series and has grown up with them. So yeah, we got this situation here. And of course, it's going to turn into some type of how to write a love story between the two of them. So I'm excited to get this read. So that is the plan for this vlog. And I think I am going to start with The Faraway Inn, and we'll see if I can get a third book in when I finish these two. If not, then I'm be happy to get these two off of my TBR. Okay, I just got home from work, so I'm a mess. But it's been a while since I said I was going to start my first book for summer vibes for this month, and I am about 11 chapters, or I just got up to chapter 11 in The Faraway Inn. And I'm finding this so adorable so far, so cozy. Kalisa, she's 16 years old, and she goes to see her aunt or her grumpy great aunt at her inn because she wants to spend the summer there and get over her jerk of an ex who cheated on her and things like that. So she's looking to spend the summer to help her aunt out. So she gets there, and her aunt is like super mean, super like, no, you can't be here, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, like, she says little things that kind of make her aunt, I don't want to say soften up, but like the whole point of The Faraway Inn that Aunt Z says is like, for escape. We don't ask questions. Like, people are coming here to just escape whatever it is that ails them, so to speak. Like, their whatever their worries are. So Kalisa's like, no, please, like, I want to stay here. I need to like get away from my ex. And so she kind of softens and she's like, okay, you could stay for 3 days. And then things start happening. And Kalisa is like, what is going on? And Aunt Z's rules are don't ask questions and don't open doors. And of course, that's all Kalisa is doing because she is like so curious about the little things. We don't get a lot of like crazy fantasy magic yet. We get little glimpses of some things that are happening, like this statue that keeps moving, or she thinks it keeps moving, but she's not sure. And I'm just like finding this so adorable. I love Jack. That's the groundkeeper's son, who is just kind of like taking her Khaleesa under his wing and kind of just like showing her around the ropes and things like that, but still trying to like keep to her warnings that she's getting from Aunt Z. And I'm just finding their, oh, hi, Misty. I'm just finding their friendship that's growing right now. So adorable. We'll see. I mean, it's cute. She has a little crush. So I'm just loving it. I want to know why Aunt Z is so mean. Like, so, like, she's just so grumpy and mean-spirited. There's obviously a situation that happened with Khaleesi's moms, which is why she hasn't been there since she was a kid. So I'm hoping to find that out soon. And yeah, we're just kind of like getting to the part where she's starting to realize there's something going on here. How did they put it? The otherworldliness that is going on with the guests. So that's really cute. I'm starting to see that. When I think cozy fantasy, like Sarah Beth Durst is like my go-to, my start. Even though I've only read 2 books, like that to me is just the epitome of cozy fantasy. And I love this as a little bit of a different take because it's real world. So it's Vermont. She's from Brooklyn. This Faraway Inn is supposedly in Vermont. So we're in the real world. We're not in some magical made up place like the spell shop. So I do like that. That is like something that I don't always like when they do that. Kind of takes me out of the fantasy element of the story, but that's something that I'm really enjoying. So I'm going to read a little bit more and I'm going to see what happens. Okay, I'm on my way to work. I'm about halfway through at the Faraway Inn, and this is so adorable. I love how Khaleesa is just embracing the magic, but I have a prediction about where this is going. I can't say much, but I'll let you know. Okay, so it's been a while since I checked in, and I am almost done with this. So I think last I left off, I said that I had a prediction. It was partially right so far. Well, I can't really say. No, never mind. I can't say that. But anyway, I have a prediction about this inn and the magic behind it and things like that. I originally thought that there was a part that was supposed to be like a test by Aunt Z. And I don't know, that could still be true, but in the moment it wasn't. So we'll see. But I am loving this so much. I think this is so adorable. It is a very cozy read, so if you are into that, definitely pick this up. I think I mentioned this before. I kind of I actually love that it takes place in Vermont, but like it's this little magical piece that is like hidden in Vermont. So I love that, despite the fact that I usually don't, because I feel like sometimes it could take away from like the magic. I usually like my fantasies to be like a whole nother world of like not even on the realm of where we are. But I think that Sarah Beth Durst has done that well so far. I mean, there's only a little bit left. I do at this point though kind of wish that we got a little bit more of the other realms, so to speak. I can't say too much about that because it's going to give a lot away. But we are at a point where something big just happened. And while it is towards the end, I'm just loving the progression of this. As far as Khaleesa, she is 16 years old, but I love that she sort of knows her own mind, but is like still figuring things out, right? Like she's still figuring things out about how she feels. Like the whole thing is like she broke up with her boyfriend because he's a jerk and he was cheating on her because, I mean, let's face it, like high school, right? And she knows like she wants to get away, and people around her are trying to say like, just get away to think about it. But she's kind of like sort of already there that she wants to be done with him. So I love that she's not too like flip-flopping on that. And then we get a scene where she like makes her decision, so to speak. You know, you just don't see a lot of that when we're talking about teenagers, like that strong will personality that we usually get a lot of like teen angst and love triangles in YA books, because that's a very common trope. But I just think that Sarah Beth Durst is doing such a a lovely job with this. Now, I don't know if she's written other YAs. I've only read 2 of her books, in the Spell Shop series. So I do want to see what else is out there. And I do want to read more by her than other than just what I've been reading with her Spell Shop series. So that is something that is really a goal of mine. But I just love like everything about this cover and just the flowers and everything. It matches the book so well. Every piece of this book that she talks about, the gardens and the flowers and just the forest that is there, like it just matches so well, and I could just picture it all in my mind, and I love that. So this book's really doing it for me. So I'm going to try to finish, I don't know if I'm going to finish it tonight, because tomorrow is Mother's Day. So, but my family, my mom, my grandma, my dad, everyone's coming over kind of like for a brunch. So I might finish it tomorrow if I don't get to finish it today. We'll see. But I'll check back in. I do want to get it finished hopefully by tomorrow so that I could start my second book for this vlog. But yeah, so that's where I am now, and I'll let you know my final thoughts once I get through this. Excuse the wet hair. I just got out of the shower and I just washed my hair. It is Monday night. I am exhausted, but I finished The Faraway Inn for my first summer vibes read, and I gave this 5 stars. I loved this. This was the perfect cozy fantasy. I think I am currently in my cozy fantasy era because everything that I want to pick up is just cozy fantasy. I love Khaleesa and how strong-willed she is and how she doesn't flip-flop. Like once she knows what she wants, she goes for it, she gets it, and she does what she has to do. I like that she's not flip-flopping back and forth in her decisions, and she actually takes the time to make a choice, which is not something that you see in YA novels in general, or just like in teens in general, like in real life. So I love to see that character development with Khaleesa. I love her relationship with Jack, the friendship, but there's still the crush, and then how that develops. I love Jack. He's just like so attentive, and it's just like so adorable. Even the side characters, Mulligan, I think he's my favorite. So he and Zeph, his significant other, he's like one of my favorites. Like we first get introduced to him and he's making hot chocolate, and I just love his character. I love like the little quirkiness that we find out about him. Is he a vampire, or what magical creatures is he? And then finding out who the magical creatures are, or what type of magical creatures everybody is. That was fun as well. I love Aunt Z. She's very moody. She's very grumpy. She's a grumpy old woman, but she has a soft spot. Like you could see it. And there's times that comes out. I just really love that. And I think like all of the characters in this book have their place, and it's just adorable, and it's perfect, and I love it. Especially the ending, like Khaleesa's ending and how she comes to the realization that she does and what she decides. I just think it wrapped it up so beautifully. So I had a successful first read for my Summer Vibes book. So I'm going to get started on how to write a love story. This takes place in the summertime in an Irish, it just says the Irish coast, an estate in the Irish coast. I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty fast read. It's not so long. And this definitely is summer vibes, not only just by the cover, but of course it takes place in summer. It is a rom-com, so I think this is going to fit perfectly. And this is about Sierra, who is an author, and her father, when he passed, has left her this Irish estate and also an unfinished epic fantasy, and she has to finish it, but she has writer's block. So her editor, or from her publishing house, they send an editor, and he is this like hotshot Sam, and so he's sent to help her finish this, and of course we're gonna get a love story out of this. Seems like a very, I wouldn't say enemies to lover, but like definitely tension, things like that. So I'm excited to read this. There's going to probably be some overlap in my thoughts in this vlog because I'm also vlogging this for my Book of the Month Vault vlog. So I hope I could just, you know, make sure that it's not too repetitive and things like that. But I'm excited to get started with this. After this, I have no idea what else I have planned. I pulled a whole bunch of books. I have some summer vibe books, things like that. So I don't know. These were the only 2 books that I had definitely planned for this vlog. So we'll just happen to see when I finish this what else I could pick up to fit this summer vibes read for this month. Okay, I wanted to do a quick check-in before I head to work. So I started How to Write a Love Story. I'm about 100 and so pages in. Definitely cute so far, but nothing's really happened. We're very early on. My initial thoughts on the characters. I really like Sam. He's a little bit, you know, like he goes to a bar to read alone. Like, I don't know. Some people might think that that's weird. I think that's attractive. I love that he's just like so into, you know, this author. But it makes me wonder, like, what else has he read, you know, because this is a huge, like, fantasy author, and I'm just curious. So I really like that. As far as Kiara, it's Kiara because she's Irish, not Ciara. That was my mistake. It is understandable why she is the way she is. Like, she just wants to make her way as her own author, and she was writing under a, like, pen name, and she was outed, right? And as, you know, one of the most famous author's daughter, so now that's all anybody could see, and she stopped writing. So I feel bad for her because she just wants to be a writer in her own right, and now she has like these huge standards to live up to, even more so now that she is going to finish her father's last book and she's going to be judged, right? So I feel bad for her. However, I'm not really like, she's very moody and angry. Again, understandable, but it's just like, I don't know. I guess maybe having her be the grumpy and him be the sunshine is a little bit not throwing me, but I don't know. She's just like, there's no reason to take out her anger on Sam. He's just there to help and to do her job. And like, he makes a suggestion that she just like flies off the handle. And I'm like, okay, like, let's wait because, yeah, we got to get some more character development here. But yeah, that's my initial thoughts so far. So I'm going to head to work. I'm going to listen on my way to work, and I'll see if I have any more thoughts later on. Okay, so excuse the fact that I'm a mess. I've been reading this morning, and I'm about to go get ready because I am taking my mom for afternoon tea at the same place that I went with my friend for her birthday. So I am going to get ready soon for that. I'm up to chapter 16, and we definitely, I think it's definitely going in the way of like a forced proximity situation. I'm a little bored right now. We're halfway through and nothing's really progressed. Nothing has really happened. We're getting just like a little back and forth between them, you know, some little like exploration around, you know, the town or the city or whatever. I don't even know if she's in a major city. A ramshackled estate on the coast. So like they're on the coast. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, we're getting like, okay, she finally wrote something. So now we're going to see what happens with that. We get a little interaction with like some fans, not her fans, like her father's fans. And she gets angry. But like, there's nothing really happening between the two of them. Like, yeah, they're kind of building up a, you know, relationship, not romantic wise, but like a work relationship. So there's no tension there. Maybe like a little bit of a friendship, like they're getting to know each other, but I still don't get enough of that right now. And we're already halfway through. So I don't want this to feel like it's a rushed situation. That's what I'm worried about at this point. The fact that I'm 150 pages in, I'm 156 pages in, halfway through, because it's like just about 300 pages, maybe a little bit more than 300 pages. And we're not getting any type of build up to a romantic relationship. I'm hoping to finish this weekend so that I could just move on to other books. So yeah, that's where I am at with this. I went to to have afternoon tea with my mom today, which was really nice. And then I came home and I listened to some more and got a couple of things done around the house. So I have about 100 pages left. It's cute. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. But I am feeling like it just got like a little too rushed. Like all of a sudden, you know, there's like a scene where he's, let's just say, a little too intoxicated, right? And he winds up crashing at her house. There's a whole bunch of like little things, and then they start talking about the book again. And like, while we have some internal dialogue between the two, because it's the 2 point of views, and we know that they're both like physically attracted to each other, but even that, I feel like it's just a few little comments. Like this one comment that Sam makes that it's like she smells like strawberries or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, we don't get to see any of that like in person, like cute little glances where like it's like slightly flirtatious. Like none of that is happening until like we get all of a sudden like one thing that it does happen. So I was a little disappointed in that. Like I wanted a little bit more of that build up before we got to the big event, so to speak. I liked how they did it, where it was like they were talking about a scene in the book, and that kind of like sparked the interest with them, and then they had their first kiss finally, and then it just progressed from there, like in the next, I think, chapter or something like that. So there's only about 100 pages left. I'm assuming we still have a third act breakup to go through. I don't know. I mean, just going by our normal routine here of what rom-coms usually are. Maybe not, because I did read a book recently that was a romance that didn't have a third act breakup, which I liked. So we might not get that. We might. I'm thinking we're going to, just based off of how, you know, this is going, like with the publisher versus client and all this other stuff, you know, relationship. But I'm definitely liking the two of them, and I like the two of them together. I like their little like quirks with each other. I maybe wanted to see a little bit more banter, but I'm not disappointed completely. You know, I am still enjoying this. So I'm going to bed because my allergy medicine has worn off. Okay, so it's about 6 o'clock almost. I did my little bit of running around. I went to a couple of little free libraries and got some books out of my car. I'm almost done. I think I have like maybe 4 books left. But anyway, I finished. So I really love all of the characters. I do love Sam and Kiara and how they interact with each other. I love Maddie, who is Kiara's best friend. I really hope that that if Catherine Walsh does like a companion series, that she does Maddie's story next, because the way she left her story, I feel like she would be great for the next book. So that would be really cute. Couple of things though that were like not off for me, but like I just wish there was a little bit more. So the romance part, I didn't really get a lot of like the swooning and the build up and like, I don't want to say necessarily tension, but like the crush was more internal on each other, like in each other's minds, but nothing really like on the page where they're interacting with each other, really until like one scene when they're talking about her book and then they start flirting with each other. Not a lot of flirting. Like some small areas here and there that they were flirting, like in a couple of different places, but not a lot. So it wasn't really until like the last, I want to say third of the book, where we get more. But then it's like, okay, they're flirting, they do their thing, and then all of a sudden we have the issue, like the problem, you know, which comes in always whenever there's a romance. And then thankfully, I like that didn't drag on and like that was resolved, but then it's just like, okay, now we go back to, oh my goodness, I love you, and there was none of that really on the page. But I do like their interactions together. Like I feel like they definitely had a very strong friendship, and I really like that. And I would have loved to have just seen that develop more on the page than just kind of like assuming that it just developed. So with that being said, I really did enjoy this. There were a few things, like I said, that I do wish was a little bit better. But I think I'm going to land on like a high 3.5, low 4 for this. Just because I did enjoy it, but it could use some improvements. So that's my opinion on this. But this is something that I would also like to see a companion series and another book in the series. Definitely want to see Maddie's story. So I don't know. Maybe we can get that soon. I know this was just published in March of this year. So who knows? Maybe in another year or two, she might be working on it. Okay, so with that being said, I think How to Write a Love Story is probably going to be my last book for this vlog. Just because this month has been purely a mood reading month. I'm recovering from back-to-back readathons and a whole bunch of stuff and preparing for the amazing readathon in June. So I'm just going to leave it with these two books, The Faraway Inn and How to Write a Love Story. Okay, I know earlier today I originally said that this was probably going to be my last book for this vlog because I was just trying to take it easy and I'm still reading for Comfy Cozy Book Club. So I was going to make this my last. However, I was looking through my books to try to find my next prompt for the Comfy Cozy Book Club, and I came across this. This was a book that I got, I don't know if it was this year or last year's bookish advent calendar that I got from Chronically You on Etsy. And I mean, summer vibes, check. Pretty short, check. So I think I'm gonna read this one. I think I'll get this done in a couple of days. So I don't know much about this, honestly. I didn't even read the back. I do know that it is a retelling of A Midsummer Night's Dream. I know it deals with two grown children who are trying to plan the perfect wedding for their parents. Helena is her mom, Nora, is marrying Amelia's father. So, you know, it's all relative. And I don't know too much about it. I don't remember, like, I didn't read that Shakespeare play, so I really don't know too much about it. But it just says plot. With her mom's wedding looming, a stressed teacher, and that's another reason. I mean, it's close to summer. I believe I read the first line and it said, like, there's only one Monday left. I still got a while to go before that. But yeah, definitely summer vibes. Anyway, it says, with her mom's wedding looming, a stressed teacher recruits her best friend as +1, only for her blended family chaos and unexpected sparks to turn pretend into possible. So that's cute. We'll give it a try. We'll see. It's got a lot of mixed reviews on Goodreads. A lot of 5 stars, a couple 3 stars, and then there's a couple of 2 stars and DNFs. I don't know. I'm going to give it a try and we'll see what happens. All right, so I'm about 7 chapters in or 6 chapters in. I just finished chapter 6 if it's all relative. And I'm not sure. So far, I'm liking it. But I have a feeling this might go in a way that is going to turn me off. Because Helena's mom is marrying Amelia's dad. And so, of course, we're going to have this whole big blended family. And, of course, it's just like a difference of ways of life, things like that, right? Helena is a teacher, very, like, easygoing. This and that. Amelia is very straightforward and like by the book, and she calls them like the poly perfect family or something like that. I don't even know. Helena asks her friend Landon, her co-worker and friend Landon, to be her +1, and this is not a spoiler because it's all on the back of the book. It turns out that Landon is Amelia's ex, and nobody knew that until he shows up with Helena to the wedding weekend. So right then and there, okay, not such a big deal, right? Because we clearly see that, like, he's not over her, all these things. But, and this is where I have a feeling I'm not going to like it. And again, this is not spoilers because it's on the back of the book. But Helena has a little bit of a crush on Amelia's current fiance. And he kind of also is like, not really, doesn't really fit the mold of like the perfect Maddoxes, things like that. And she has a crush on him, and it's clear that this could go into an affair. I don't even know if it's considered a trope, but an affair situation very easily. And I do not like affair reads. I do not like romance that comes out of affairs. Like, it's just not for me. So I'm really, really hoping that it does not go that way, because It's cute right now. It's like your introduction, but when we get to, what's his name? I don't even know his name. Gage, that's his name. But anyway, we just got to his, so I guess, and that's another thing, everybody has a different point of view. So Landon and Gage and Helena and Amelia, and I don't know if there's going to be any more point of views. I'm hoping it's just those four. But Gage's point of view already, it's like, yeah, she's different from everybody else in the family, and I like that. And she's easygoing, and so I've never read anything by Rachel McGee. I only, like I said, know about this book because it was a blind date with a book that I got. I don't remember if it was this past Christmas. So that's where I am now with that. It is Sunday. Tomorrow's Memorial Day. It has been a disgusting rainy weekend, so not much has been going on. I have to tutor in the morning, but I am going to stay up a little bit later to get some more of this done, and we'll see. I have to pretty much get this done quickly because, like I said, this was a last minute read to add on to this vlog. So we'll just see. Hopefully I will enjoy it, and it's not going to go the way that I don't want it to go, because then it's going to be probably an immediate DNF if it goes that way. I don't know, but we will see. Well, I haven't checked in since I started It's All Relative, and that's because I don't have anything to say about it. I finished it, but if I'm being honest, I probably should have DNF'd it. I don't know why I pushed through. I found myself, if I was listening, not really paying attention, having to rewind. The parts that I was reading with my eyes, I was just like skimming. It was just like, I felt no connection to any of the characters. There was 4 different viewpoints. It was Helena and her +1 and best friend, Landon. And her mom is marrying Amelia's dad, and Amelia and her fiance, Gage. So you have Amelia, Gage, Helena, and Landon. Those are the 4 viewpoints. I feel like there didn't need to be 4 different viewpoints. I honestly felt like, I don't know. I mean, I understand why there's 4 different viewpoints because of the whole messy situation of the fact that Landon's ex, Mia, turns out to be Helena's almost stepsister, Amelia. But I don't know. I just felt like we had all these inner thoughts and nothing actually happening. It was the same thing that was happening over and over, right? Helena, she's definitely not like, you know, your put together person. She's always late. She's messing up. And then Amelia gets mad because she's detail oriented, trying to get this wedding off without a hitch. And she gets angry and they bicker and they fight and all these things. And it's just like, but nothing is actually happening. We get very few actual like scenes that deal with the wedding. I don't know. I just didn't connect to anybody. I felt like it was kind of boring, and I probably should have just DNF'd. I mean, at least it's another book that's off my TBR, my physical shelves, right? Well, there you have it. This time I actually am done. I did read 3 books this time for the May Unstuff Your TBR, and the summer vibes definitely was a hit. I enjoyed the Faraway Inn much more than I did either one of the rom-coms though. I don't know, maybe I'm just not in the mood for rom-com right now, and I should just be looking for more cozy fantasy, because I did give How to Write a Love Story about 3.5, 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I loved like all of the elements around the writing of the stories and what happens outside of like the romance, and that actually is what I enjoyed so much more than the actual romance between Kiara and Sam. So this was a 3.5, high 3.5, low 4 for me. I don't even know what I'm gonna give this. I mean, I guess maybe 2. I don't even want to say 2.5. I just did not enjoy this. So I will probably land on maybe a 2 for this. For my overall rating. Again, maybe I just wasn't in the mood. I don't know. Maybe romance right now, just not my vibe. And then, of course, The Faraway Inn, 5 stars. Every single one of these books. This is now the 3rd book by Sarah Bathurst that I have read, and 5 stars every single time. So I absolutely loved this one, and this was my favorite of the month so far. Well, let me know down in the comments, have you read any of these books? I'd love to hear all of your thoughts. Thank you again, Beccie, for inviting me to be part of the TBR, Unstuff Your TBR vlog every other month, because without you, I wouldn't be so motivated to actually read what's on my physical shelves. And that's exactly what I need. I will make sure to link Beccie and Lisa and Monica's channels all below, just like I do every other month, so that you can go watch their vlogs, see what they read and how they felt about their books. So if you got this far in my video and you're a little too shy to comment, then leave me a sun or summer emoji down in the comments. Well, that's all I have for now. Bye.